day. Today we are going to review the benefits and ease of doing the annual enrollment confirmation for your returning students from home or any other place that you have Wi-Fi connection or internet connection. Of course, you can always go to the OKCPS website and choose district-wide enrollment and then returning families. But if your student has a device still at home and they are a returning student, they probably should have on an iPad, this parent portal icon will show up on one of the home screen pages. It's probably going to be the last one because it's a new icon that was just added a couple of weeks ago. If your student has a Chromebook, you can open the Chrome app, the internet, choose OKCPS bookmarks in the upper left-hand corner and parent portal. Either of those links, as well as the returning students link on the district website, will take you to this option. You choose Campus Parent and you are able to enroll using your parent portal username or password. If you don't know your username or password, you can call this number, 405-587-0435, or submit a request form to have that username and password sent to you. Once you're in the parent portal, logged on, used your username and password, you'll want to look for this icon in the upper left-hand corner, the menu icon, and from the Message Center menu, choose More. From the More menu, you may need to scroll down because it's pretty long. There are a lot of options, but you'll want to choose Annual Enrollment Confirmation. And this is just telling you don't add new students until you have completed all of the students who show up in your portal. Note that if your student does not show up in parent portal, but has been attending, they should be there if they were there on the last day of school. Otherwise, you may need to add them back in. Click to go to existing student registration. It shows you the students who are included in your portal. And just be sure to read. We start with primary household information. If you'll always press the next button. Remember that every family provides 2 proofs of address every year. You can upload those into the annual enrollment confirmation parent portal app. If not, you'll need to take them to your school before school begins, and you can do that beginning July 19th. Home address, here's where you can click. If you have that iPad, when you click that, it will give you an option to take a photo, and you can take a photo and it will automatically upload it. If you are on another device, you may need to have taken your photos beforehand and then upload and click them from your photo list. Household survey, this just helps us for funding and grant opportunities. So if you'll fill out number of persons and gross annual income. We now move on to the parent and guardian tab, and we have 2 parents listed. Notice if we needed to, we could add another parent or guardian. Situations do occur where we need to do that, and so that's option. Notice that when you first open up any of these, parent, guardian, emergency student, every person listed will be highlighted in yellow. That indicates either that there's some information missing, or that you do need to edit and review this. Every person's information needs to be reviewed, may or may not need editing, but you still review. Just that reminder again, we are a Mama Bird's demographics tab, and it shows her information. Notice that anything that is in a red asterisk is required information, and so that may prevent you from moving forward if you have trouble. Remember to go back and check those. Next, again, more information. These items are about how I might want to receive information. If I want to receive this information regarding these areas that are described down here. So review that, see what you want to have saying. Please don't click private unless you don't want to receive any information from the school at all. Each parent also is asked about migrant worker status. We have very few of those here, but we do have some agriculture, fishing, dairy, or food processing work that persons may travel seasonally for employment. Also, we may have, if you are involved in military or you work on federally owned property, when you click yes, you will have some options there. Otherwise, you click no. And again, that yellow reminder, anytime you are in one of those sections and an individual shows up as yellow or that tells you to go back and check to see what you missed. Mama Bird is finished. We're now going to go and edit and review Papa Bird. Notice that here, Mama Bird, who's completing this, or Papa Bird, whichever one is completing this, has unchecked this box. It is only unchecked if the person, Papa Bird, does not live here at this address, the family address. So that must mean there's been a shift or a change since last year. And this is how you would change an address even at the beginning. If your family has moved to the year, you would click into the number, put the number of your address, and there may be some options show up, but there may be so many that you don't see yours. Then if you go over to street and begin to type your street name, some options will show up and you can select the right address. That helps us be sure that all of our addresses are linked together and are accurate. So be sure to change your address that way. Papa Bird has included his email, but if he didn't have an email, he could check has no email. And then of course wouldn't need to worry about those options. So the parents and guardians are finished. We're going to save and continue, which will move us to emergency contacts. These are our 2 emergency contacts. You will edit and review those as well. You may also add new emergency contacts or remove contacts. You'll remove contacts inside of each of these sections. Now we're back to our student tab. The student tab, of course, has the most requirements and the most information to review since it's all about the students. Very similar format. We can add new students. We can go back. We can also click on any of these tabs that we've finished if we need to update or have forgotten some information. We're going to edit and review the student. Here is the student information. Pay attention to the asterisks. Be sure to use the student's legal name. We are required by law to do that. Your student can be called any nickname that they'd like, and you can put that here, but we need to have the legal name on record. Foreign exchange student, that question will only pop up for high school students. Housing, again, may seem like a family situation, but the reality is it's a student situation. Here there'll be a drop-down menu. This is the first option that the parent or guardian of this student leases or rents a home or apartment or has a contract on a home. There are other options, including if none of the drop-downs or this one fits your family situation, there is an other. Don't worry, you won't need to explain anything here. We will have someone contact you. These are, again, remember, these are the students' relationships. Well, this student has a step parent. And so the step parent does not have guardian, mailing, or anything addressed. There must be at least one person identified as guardian. If the family chose he could be a guardian, just would not probably have these options as a step parent. Contact sequence, we say who gets called first, who gets called second. Some of our emergency contacts are going to be before dad, who may not be available or have a phone available during the day. So he would be a last on the list for contacts in case of an emergency or illness. If situation has changed, here is where we would mark no relationship. And again, we can also remove contacts that way, the emergency contacts. You can see it right here, no relationship. It looks like Grandma Bird has been checked. She's dropped out of the contact sequence. Perhaps she's passed, perhaps she's ill and frail and not available to be contacted. We have other areas too. This relationship's other in the household. That's going to be siblings. There may be several students enrolled by this parent, but they may not all be related for one reason or another. Under health services, we will want you to provide medical, mental, emotional, or behavioral conditions that the school needs to know about in order to serve your child best. Note that if your child doesn't have any of these conditions, you can check. Notice that there is a drop down. Please take time to review that drop down. Some things you may not think about as being important to us, maybe. So also it asks for some information. If you do click this and find out, no, if you've added a condition and checked and it's not listed there, you can remove condition and check no conditions. Same thing in terms of adding and removing for medications. Note that there is no drop down for medication. They will need the actual name of the medication, where it's taken, and when, and that kind of thing. You can add multiple medications. Again, if your child does not take any, check there. These are release agreements and annual permissions. These are those things that we expect. The first four are things that all students and parents and guardians need to understand, that we have expectations. There are guidelines in our student parent handbook. There is a policy for how students are required to use technology devices and the internet, and other kinds of textbooks, uniforms, that sort of thing that belong to the school. There are then everything in red. Item in red down here is it all right if your student is screened for different kinds of things? Is it okay if your student receives military recruiter information? Basically, each one of them respond yes or no. Then at the bottom, once you have answered all of these, and again, you can answer yes or no to any of them, sign and move on. Notice the internet question is asking if, other than the school issued device, hotspot device, does your family have internet available? And there we have both of our students. You've reviewed them. They're no longer yellow, but we need to add a new student. If we add a new student, of course, there's not going to be information that automatically populates. You will also be asked to upload birth certificate and immunizations. We also have added for new students, upload custody information. So all of those paperwork, again, the sooner you do that now, if you do that now, it's not required to go to the school. So we've added Delta Bird. We added her information. We went through every single section for her. When we've done all of the students, again, you can go back at any time. This link will let you see an application summary of everything that you've put in, and you can go back and make changes if you need to. Once you're totally ready, click submit. Thank you. Not only is annual enrollment confirmation something you can do from home and not have to stand in line, you do not need to go to school the end of July to confirm enrollment. And also, if you complete this annual enrollment confirmation before July 26th, your student's class schedule and assignments will be available before the last day of school. Again, there is information about where to call and how to get assistance. Please refer to that on the district-wide enrollment tab. And thank you.